Time's up. Have your own.
Here it comes.
Oh my goodness, what have we found ourselves in now? We are back with Doctor Who Cares reviews for the last ride. This is our last ride, guys. This is it.
Hopefully.
This is our last Reich?
Ride.
I'm
Starting out strong tonight.
Listen, I've been gone for a week. I had to do something.
No, you didn't. You could have been smart. You could have just not made the joke. Anyway, welcome everybody to Doctor Who Cares reviews, where we take our time to what's a good description? We're not going to melt down. We are going to point and laugh at this horrific show because it literally is the worst it's ever been. We have the numbers to prove it. It's not Doctor Who. It's Shooty Who. Belinda is belligerent, and it's just gloriously bad. But let's say hi, Dermy. You survived Vegas, and you're here.
Shockingly, I was managed to survive Vegas. No, Gal was, not really helpful there.
Is she ever to you?
Usually, but
Is she
throwing me to a hooker. Jesus fucking Christ.
That's
a story for Ballbusters.
Different
story. But yes, I'm here. Yeah. I had to start Vegas off by watching Doctor Who.
I helped.
And then end it off by watching Doctor Who.
I helped again.
You did help, and it was actually very helpful. All I could say is, how the fudge do you mess up Al Generator? AI generator Al. How are you that stupid? The whole timeline there just doesn't. I can't figure that shit out.
It's bad. It is bad.
This isn't even like, some of the craziest of like maybe a Tenet era where the timelines don't really make sense and you have to use your head. This one just doesn't make sense.
They didn't even try.
No, I'm not even trying. I mean, Jed, you had to catch up too. You were forced to watch the start of it while you were celebrating your honeymoon, and then you had to come back and watch it some more. I mean, how are you?
I made the wise decision of waiting to watch the Robot Revolution until after I returned from Scotland, so I didn't taint my honeymoon with it. I watched it 5 days late or something like that, and then watched them the first two episodes within like a day of each other. That might have been a mistake, but at least I didn't taint my honeymoon with it. I don't know if this is going to be a controversial opinion for you guys, though, but I would actually rather be here with you guys talking about Doctor Who than be on a stream talking about The Last of Us Season 2 right now. I'd rather be reviewing Doctor Who. Because, yes, I care more about Doctor Who than Last of Us. I love Last of Us, the one and only game. But I'm so dead on Doctor Who that this is withering laughter. This isn't torture. I don't want to see Joel further desecrated like he was in Season 1. That would be way more painful for me. I don't know if that's controversial. You only
have to do it for 2 episodes.
Well, they did kill him. They killed him.
They did kill. I was surprised. I thought they tried to delay that for the end of Season 2, maybe, because they did say that they're splitting Game 2. So I thought they'd hold off for a while, but they got Pedro out of there quick.
Yeah, now it's down, and now Downsy chick is in charge. Anyway, that they see. We're not talking about that. No.
I will say the chick for Abby. She was in Last Man Standing. She's hot.
Great.
Oh, yeah, she's hot.
She's a great actress.
But they clearly veered away from Abby Smash.
Yeah.
Because I would smash her and not Abby. Anyway, all right. So, but we're not going to talk Last of Us 2. We're here to talk Shooty Who Season 2, because it's not Doctor Who, not in any way, shape, or form. So, hail and howdy to everybody across the chats. We are happy to have you here on all of our channels. We hope you're going to enjoy it. Hit the like buttons. Links for everybody's channels are description below. And Jed, this one's for you right here. This one's for you. You recommended something good, and somebody's happy that you recommended him to Witcher. So
hell yeah, I'm glad more people are enjoying Witcher 3. I think it's the greatest game that there is, and that's highly biased, though. That is highly biased. It's my favorite game, and I am very glad that people are still picking up, still enjoying it, because it is a massive world in just that game. You can enjoy that for hundreds and hundreds of hours. I'm thousands of hours into it like a psychopath, but I hope you enjoy it. And I recommend the rest of the games and the rest of the books. I do not recommend the TV show, but the books are fantastic. I'm getting ready to reread them again because the new book is coming out in English in like 3 months. I'm really excited for that.
I thought
it came out in January in Poland, but the English translation is rumored to come out in September. So I'm looking forward to that. I can still look forward to things. It's wild.
Hey, I look forward to things too. It's just nothing that we're covering. That's the problem. But all right, so welcome everybody. Okay, so we're gonna briefly go over Robot Revolution because we didn't have time last week because you guys were in transit for what you were doing, and I wasn't gonna. I did my review, so there's no point in me doing this by myself. But let's take a moment and just quickly go over Robot Revolution, where Shooty Who once again proved that he doesn't care about anything except himself. Willingly lets people die. I still am stuck on with that, the hospital incident, where he is. Now, somebody criticized me for saying this, and I want your take on this. So, for the recap of this part, he is trying to track down Belinda, who from this point on, if you watch my reviews, I will be calling her belligerent. Trying to track down belligerent for whatever reason, and the nurse at the station will not let him access belligerent's records to get her address. So he fails in attempting to distract her and uses his remote control Sonic to hack into the computer system. And the Sonic shorts out the computer, and it causes the entire power grid of the hospital to shut down. Now, first, Jed, how does the Sonic do that to a computer and whole thing? Because somebody told me when he said, a lot of your criticisms are right, but when you criticized that, RTD kind of established that the Sonic's power levels are sometimes hard to control. So I
don't know what he means by hard to control. In the RTD era, it did become a little bit like a magic wand, just doing whatever the doctor wanted. It got a little out of control. That is fair. Even in the Moffat era, a little bit.
Like the energy pour out.
Yeah, it being uncontrollable, though. I've never heard that before. It being very powerful and way too useful. Yes, absolutely. But being uncontrollable is not something that I've ever seen. And that's just a weird thing to say. No, the Sonic doesn't randomly blow up computers unless the doctor wants it to, of course.
Thank you.
It doesn't shut off power to whole buildings. Unless, of course, this isn't the Sonic, because it doesn't look anything like a Sonic, and this isn't the doctor, because the real doctor would be able to, know how to correctly use his own equipment. But yeah, it's not the doctor. He shuts off power to an entire hospital. I can guarantee that probably 10 people died. At least 10 people.
Middle of surgery.
Emergency lights didn't come on. Emergency lights did not come on. So it wasn't that he just severed the connection. It was like an EMP blast. It knocked out everything. There was no backup batteries. There was nothing. People died. It took a minute.
Derby, he just went, whoopsie. My bad.
Yeah. No, remember, in that episode, they openly do the beep, 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 beep. They have that sound effect because they want you to know.
I didn't hear the sound effect. I didn't hear it. Oh my God. So they consciously made it. I thought they were just stupid and oopsie, he did an oopsie and didn't realize it. If they put in that sound effect, they made a joke about him committing mass murder.
Yeah. And we don't see him fix it.
No.
We just assume that that was the first thing that just jumped out at me is like, I can't believe that we just did this. I mean, the doctor killed a bunch of innocent people because he can't use his sonic screwdriver anymore.
They think it's cutesy. They think it's adorable that he screwed this up when it's like, no, this is not something he would screw up.
No.
He would be able to get that info and get out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he could access it from the TARDIS. We've seen him be able to access human databases from the TARDIS, even without landing sometimes. He'd just look it up on his computer, find her home address, and go watch it. Yeah. If he was looking for belligerent, we don't know why. They didn't say in the Christmas special.
They still haven't.
Oh, they've implied. She's
implied there's something weird going on.
She's the special girl. She's the girl that the keys to everything. Well, it's the exact.
But how did he realize that was a story?
Somebody told him. That's
somebody did.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what he said.
Somebody told him.
So that's the only explanation we have. Somebody told him that she was important.
And of course, I don't remember if it happened already. I don't think it did.
It's the exact same story we've been getting over and over and over.
I'm tired of girls who are the key to everything. I'm tired of things being the key to everything. Timeless children, like it's okay to have Easter eggs for something that's coming. I think the best example of setting up a Doctor Who season arc subtly without derailing things is season 4, actually, with the missing planets. It's integrated into the story. It doesn't feel like you're grinding to a halt, and it's not, there's a prophecy. There's like the Doctor doesn't even realize it until it's too late, until it's done, when the Earth is gone, that this is a pattern.
That is a good one. I still prefer Bad Wolf. Like the
Bad Wolf is really good too. That one's really subtle. That one's a great one as well.
And that brings me to something else that we saw within that we'll talk about in Lux is, yeah, the Doctor can miss things, but eventually he does figure it out himself.
Mm-hmm.
This Shooty Who doesn't figure out shit. Someone always has to tell him what's going on.
He hasn't saved the day yet.
Nope.
Unless you want to say dragging the freaking dog behind a goddamn car saved the day.
And playing catch doesn't count because that's retarded.
Yeah.
If you remember, the first thing he ever did was play catch and kill a god or trap a god.
I know.
I know we're not there
I
yet.
hate the gods. There should be primordial deities.
Pin in that. We'll get it. Lux. I know that you guys really despise the gods, and I want you to rail into. But let's just finish Robo Revolution. Dermy, I know that when you were first watching Robo Revolution, you were just rolling your eyes at Alan. It's like they right away introduced somebody and just cucked him right away, turned him into an.
I thought he was gay. What man looks at a woman and says, "You know, you could actually like open it up at the crosses and take the tape off and then fold it up to use it." What straight man says that? I thought he was gay.
I actually know someone who does that, but that's only because his wife forces him to do it, and he looks like he's dead inside when he's doing it.
Well, see, that's my point.
See,
he's not doing it willingly.
My thing for Alan was that when I saw him, like, oh, we've got another bad white man. When I hear him say, well, women aren't really good at math and not good at other things, like, oh, we're getting one of these. Okay.
Again.
And the whole buying her a star. How?
That's the nicest thing she ever got. Man, you must have some.
She framed it. She framed it. And then we didn't know until later that they were engaged, but then she turned him down because he's what was it? Conscientious. I forget what it was.
Coercion.
Conscious coercion. Thank you. Conscious coercion. When then it became conscious control. Where do they make these things up? Is there like a room full of just?
Do we need to get into Marxism and the way they come up these words?
Yeah. And incel being a thing that means nothing.
Incel was it's something they made up to try and insult us, and their definition doesn't even fit the way they used it in this show.
No, not at all. He's not an incel.
And he doesn't have anger for women and men who won't sleep with him. He just wants to control this belligerent bitch.
Yeah. He's a control freak and kind of a jackass. That I'm still convinced is gay. You can't unconvince me that that's gay.
All right. Listen, there's a lot wrong.
And I mean that in the negative term.
He gets like zero character development, except that he treats the world like a game and wants to see people die. But then when we're on planet Miss Belligerent, blah, 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 whatever, I to say that over and over again was terrible.
Linda
all people there.
Drop.
Don't even say her name. She doesn't have a name. Her name's Belligerent. When we're there, Jed, now I also got criticized by a couple of people for saying that the robots taking away the TARDIS was really dumb. Yes, the TARDIS can be picked up by other things, but the way it happened.
It's so pathetic and weird the way it happens. Yeah, they just walk up and just start pushing it without much preamble. And then suddenly the Doctor is integrated into their society and is their well-known historian that Al trusts.
He had to work his. He worked his way up, and
in
what
6 months.
And what I love the most about that is, what is it, Janet 88 or some shit like that, or
something like that?
Sally
yeah,
88.
I think it was.
Doesn't matter.
Janet. I don't.
It doesn't matter
dies.
because
who cares?
Exactly, because they set this thing up.
They fridged her.
Yeah, and I love that. I'm like, oh, she's gonna die, Doctor. It's everything you said it would be. I can't wait to travel the stars with you. That's right. We're going to have adventures. Zap.
Yeah.
It was so bad. And I love how the doctor's grinning and giggling through that whole scene when 20 other people are getting brutally murdered. Then the black lady, the one diverse lady in the room dies. And he's like, my soul is
and not to mention, we say this over again. This is not how the doctor behaves. The doctor does not incite a bloody revolution.
That was his plan. Yeah. That whole thing. And what was the point of that entire thing? If they were just going to attack, why tell belligerent this whole 9-word thing? The 9-word thing is ridiculous and makes no sense.
God, I thought they were going to do something clever with that, and then it was the dumb. And then it was dumb.
They're 9-word. It's idiotic. It does, and then when they do something with it, they just immediately forget it because then I'm like, what's actually going on?
Yeah, computers don't actually operate in any way that would make that possible. They acted like it had a foundation in reality. It doesn't. Yeah. But yeah, just attack. If that was your plan, just attack. There's no reason to have this conversation. Just attack. It doesn't set up belligerent to help. It doesn't distract the robots from a key thing. They just start shooting when he's done talking. It serves zero purpose but setting up the 9-word thing, which is irrelevant. So it's irrelevant.
They had a chance to make that a thing, to have a doctor moment where the doctor saves everybody, where he saves Alan, who you would think because of the 9-word thing had learned his lesson, and he's like, I'm sorry I did this.
Yeah, and that should have set up sympathy.
Yeah.
Right after they set up sympathy, he dies, and they laugh about it and giggle and dance. It's like, he's a sperm.
He's a sperm, and oopsie, he's dead now. Yay, let's frolic.
And yeah, he might have been an asshole, but belligerent dated him. You should have some remorse. You cared about this person at some point. Have a fucking soul.
Nope, she doesn't.
She's one of the most evil characters in this show. Like, I didn't think we'd get a worse companion than Yaz. I thought that would be a high bar to hit. Oh, they sailed past it. There's no competition for her being the worst companion of all time.
Her whole thing is just to be belligerent and be condescending. I'll say timey-wimey now as an insult because I can't, at least back when it first was used, it was used in a fun way because some stuff you had to use your head a little bit, or some stuff didn't click just right, but you could believe they at least put the effort in to try to make it work. Now they don't do it, so you say timey-wimey as the insult. They say,
or the excuse.
Or the excuse. They say timey-wimey, and she goes like, that's stupid. What am I saying?
You're stupid. She has been detrimentally negative towards him multiple occasions. I'm a nurse, you're a doctor, you don't want to do anything. Your name is stupid, you're stupid, take me home now, you're dangerous. I don't know, it's just,
you scanned me without my consent. What him apologizing for it?
What companion has ever behaved like this?
None. She's definitely unique. They worked hard to make her unique.
Closest one might be Martha when they first meet, but it's still night and day.
That's because Martha was in shock.
Yeah.
With everything that happened.
There was an explanation there as to why she was upset.
And Martha had a real storyline of falling in love with something she shouldn't fall in love with.
Mm-hmm.
And this bitch, what I love the most is at the very end of Robot Revolution, it's about, I want to go home, got to get her home. And we saw her life. It's a miserable life. She hates her job. She does hate her job. She doesn't like what she does.
It definitely seems like she hates her life because she hates everything.
She hates her home. She hates her roommates who are white and abuse her by eating her food or accusing her of shit. She has nothing go. We get in the beginning second episode, she doesn't have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. She doesn't have anything. Oh, but she does love her parents. But she has nothing going on. But you got to get me home because I can get back to work for my miserable job the next morning. So
I'm sure it's something like, I actually do something important. Unlike you, I'm a nurse. I save lives. I'm actually a good person, unlike you. I'm sure it's going to be something like that.
She might have actually saved more lives than he has saved. So
behind every good doctor, there's always nurses. She said that.
Yeah.
She doesn't realize that there are different types of doctors. Like, even in our world, we understand just because you're a doctor doesn't mean you're a medical doctor.
Yeah.
All she makes is medical doctor jokes.
So that's any last things on Robot Revolution, because we did it was, I just wanted to go over that quickly.
AI generator was Al Generator.
What was the point of that? He didn't go by Al.
I have to scream this. How the hell did he get there? How? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
How does he get there 10 years prior to all this? How does any of this work?
Yeah, they don't explain the rift in time and rifts in real Doctor Who and in real lore. If there's going to be a wormhole like this or a rift or something, a breach in time, it's usually between two connected times. Like it's consistent. You'd go from one time to another or back to where you came from. You wouldn't just go into it, get spit out at random time, like the certificate going back thousands of years in the future, which they are coming back to. They promise that they come back to it because he has the certificate in its tube. And yeah, he gets pumped back 10 years into the past because she in the present told the robots to go get him. And then the robots didn't realize anything was wrong and made him into the generator.
That's a paradox right there. How can they have been following his orders to get her when she hadn't yet said go get him?
Don't use your head. It hurts.
Yeah, this isn't timey-wimey as in, ooh, that's really complicated. Let me figure it out. They think they're Inception. They're just nonsense.
And it's Russell T Davies. He wrote both these episodes we're talking about. This isn't him. He wrote it. He wrote this. This is him.
When I said don't use your head because it hurts, I mean it literally hurts. Trying to figure this stuff out is not like how it was before. And I'm not trying to do like I'm stupid here. It's like nothing's adding up. And then I have to also mention they saved the day by touching tips.
Are we ready to talk about that scene? Because I have much things to say about that.
Go ahead.
All right. So just getting out there. I love the incredible writing that they did in the foreshadowing scene when they realize that there's two certificates and Belligerent just goes, hey, I've seen movies when you touch things that are same things, they go kaboom. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're so smart. And then they set up and they do it at the end. And it, she's completely fine. Everything's completely fine around her. It's
he
just
absorbed the energy. That's why.
And made him witness her entire life for some reason. And then it turned the generator into a fertilized egg. And you're like, whoopsie, we had an abortion on the floor. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah. But my problem with that,
I don't even care.
Is
I could save you to, oh my God, you're dead. Oh well.
Oh well. Yeah. Yeah, you garnered sympathy and then laughed at his death. That's not how you do it. You either skip the sympathy scene or you try to save him, and then it's tragic when he's unable to be saved. Okay. But my problem is the fact that they decided that touching things of the same item in 2 points in history makes an explosion. Yeah. There's not actually a basis for that. For many reasons, but in Doctor Who specifically, let's talk about Doctor Who. There's only one example of things in a different point in history interacting with themselves and causing a problem. Throughout the entire franchise, Classic Who and New Who, people interact with each other all the time. Items interact with each other all the time. That's the only way we have multiple Doctor specials. It happens constantly. And the one instance where it actually does happen is in the New Who Season 1 episode, Father's Day, where adult Rose touches baby Rose, and it breaks down the barriers of the church to allow the Reapers in. That has been explained as, yes, it's not good for a paradox to touch, but the time at that point on that planet in that city was particularly vulnerable due to the change that Rose made in history. So under normal circumstances, yes, she would have been able to pick up her younger self, but those weren't normal circumstances. So, and she didn't blow up. The baby didn't blow up. But there's an actual example that we can look to of an object, not a person, an object. If you guys remember the season 5 finale of Matt Smith's era, you see Amy's dead. The Doctor's locked inside the Pandorica, and then the episode ends. The next episode, Rory is visited by the Doctor from the future, who gives him his Sonic, says, hey, go rescue me from the Pandorica in the past. He frees the Doctor in the past from the Pandorica, and they both have the Sonic screwdriver, and they touch tips. There is a spark, but there's no explosion. Everything's totally fine. Both devices continue to work. Touching tips doesn't make an explosion. We have that. It's gay. So, yeah, there's no basis in science, there's no basis in the show, there's no basic in logic, in good storytelling. It is the most contrived piece of nonsense that is poorly foreshadowed. It's nonsense. It's made up rules.
That's the exact
contradictory
word, that's the exact thing I want to go to. Play by the rules you've set up.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have played with time travel rules before, and I used certain aspects of, like, the movie Van Damme movie Time Cop, where they instituted the idea, same matter cannot occupy the same spot at the same moment. I employed that, and I turned it into an idea of entropic cascade reaction, where it causes a problem, and the two and all the molecules that can't react. I employed that, but I set it up, and it remains constant.
And it's your rules.
Yeah. And the only time I've ever seen explosion when things of the same objects is in the TV series version of 12 Monkeys, where they established it in the first episode. They established that concept, and it repeats itself. And yes, something can be two things of the same existence, like an item can be there. They can exist, and they only have a reaction the closer they get to one another. But they establish the rules, and therefore you're not questioning what you just laid out. There are established rules for same objects and same matter being in the same place, same time in the world of Doctor Who, and established by RTD in some cases. And he breaks it for his own convenience because he's out of ideas. That's my supposition.
He is out of ideas. He can only tell one story on repeat at this point in time. Heck, we are about to get into it, but if you take a look at last season compared to this season, it's the exact same story. Just now, instead of having a chick with nice tits, you have a belligerent jackass.
Say what you will about Ruby Sunday being an empty character, having literally no story by the end of it. At least she was pleasant. She wasn't obnoxious, and she was very pleasant to look at.
Yeah. And the actress never said shit that I'm aware of, at least.
Yeah.
She said one thing.
She did say one thing.
Okay.
But that was a long time ago.
It was
like idiotic.
It was retarded. We'll
have a lot of Gen Z viewers because we have controversial elements. That's all it was.
That's just dumb. That's not that bad.
Chandra Suthra, whatever frick her name is, with Shooty in an interview saying, "We're the first non-white TARDIS, and we're here to make you uncomfortable with that fact."
I'm uncomfortable because you're gay and not the Doctor, and you're a jackass. I would say another word, but we're on YouTube right now.
Yeah. So anything else on Robot Revolution before we get on to our this week's episode, Lux? Anything
I have
else?
like two little things.
All right, go.
How the hell is she the queen? I don't understand that. How do they know that they named the planet? And lastly, she was more than happy to kill off the rebels in order to get away. Like, she had no idea that
she betrayed them.
Yeah.
I'm doing it to help you.
But she's such an insufferable person. Yeah. And you started to point it out, Dermy, but I do want to highlight on as well, is we get established that it was Al who corrupted the robots, caused the robot revolution that led to the actual human revolution that we see in the episode. But if he caused it, if evil robots come from the future carrying this random dude, do the non-corrupted robots of the past react to that and say, hey, why are these evil robots giving us this dude? I feel like the good robots that we see at the end of the episode, who are supposedly the same robot, just uncorrupted, would be, maybe we shouldn't do this. What's going on?
Thought, this is headcanoning, and this is me trying to make it make sense, is because even the rebels knew it, like they all followed the rules of their queen that they just decided was their queen for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
And they just did it because she said so. Even though I don't even know how they know that she's their queen. You're
gonna hurt yourself.
I'm gonna hurt myself, and it's not because it's super smart. It's because it's super dumb.
And I want to point this out because I made a joke of it during my review, but apparently a lot of people got angry when the robots killed the cat in the beginning of the episode, and the episode made a horrible joke out of it. Also, I made fun of it because it was like bad storytelling and bad dialogue where they shoot the cat. You killed the cat. Yes.
Has no empathy.
Yeah.
You killed the cat. That's all it was killing a cat. It's like, it does come out of nowhere, but thinking people actually cared about it, it's like, why? It's a random cat. It's a joke. It's a bad joke.
Bad joke. All right.
And I'm already sick and tired of the chick that breaks the fourth wall. God damn.
Oh,
I hate her.
Mrs. Flood. Both episodes. I threw it out there once upon a time that she might be Susan, but I think I'm going to retract that.
I think she might be the master.
I think she's another primordial.
God of time.
All right. Well, all right. Let's get
God
into
of time, God of storytelling.
Lux, I knew when it gets to the point is, I was like, no. And I thought Dermy's going to scream. Jed's going to hit his head against the wall. And another god. You did scream?
I screamed.
I had a feeling you would scream.
I screamed.
Because I know you both. I just think it's stupid, but I know you both viscerally hate the idea of these gods. It's because
it's not Doctor Who.
And we talked about this last season. The gods introduce the laziest kind of storytelling possible because then rules are out the window. It's the gods. I don't have to build lore. I don't have to follow the rules of anything. I could do it. I can make anything happen. And in Lux, anything happens without explanation.
Lux, I will say this. Lux was the one episode I was most curious about when we were seeing the trailers. Because I was curious, what the hell's going on with this animated character?
Yeah, see, I didn't watch the trailer. I didn't know that was going to happen because I don't watch trailers, so I
didn't know what episode it was going to be. Okay. It was the whole build up and all that. When you saw the animated character coming out of the screen, that was the one thing. It was like, what's going on here? And it's a god, and I hate it.
It's so boring at this point. He has one trick in his hat.
They don't even explain. So the moon reflects off a spoon and goes into a projector. And Lux takes over a cartoon character.
This is still David Tennant's fault. All right. For those of you who don't remember, David Tennant in the one episode of RTD2 that I thought wasn't that bad, wasn't terrible.
The one where they were at the end of space and shit?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, because he invoked a superstition at the end of the universe by drawing salt in front of these monsters. It broke a barrier between this universe and the previous one that opened the floodgates for all the gods of the pantheon to invade our reality, and they're just coming through at random places. So this is just where Lux popped out because David Tennant dropped some goddamn salt on the ground.
Yeah. Don't worry, Brad. We'll watch it for you. We're here to watch it for you.
Like, the salt thing makes sense because you shouldn't do it. Well, okay, it doesn't make sense, but here, working with the rules that they've established, the salt brought in the toy maker. Okay, whatever. The maestro was brought in because the devil's chord, and you should never play the devil's chord. This is just light meets something. It's all a coincidence. It's literally a coincidence. It could have happened anywhere.
But it happened
here.
But Jeremy, it had to happen in 1952, Miami, Florida, so we could get lectured about segregation and Rock Hudson being gay.
I didn't get the Rock Hudson being gay.
And AIDS.
I didn't get that.
Okay.
What I will say is I actually kind of like how they
you didn't get AIDS?
Segregation. No, I didn't get
it. He has derby. He has derby. That's a different thing.
Well, derpy.
All right, let me explain the Rock Hudson thing. So, Rock Hudson, American movie star in the 50s and the 60s, he was a closeted homosexual man. Everybody's known this forever. I mean, did a lot of movies with Doris Day, big famous, big masculine looking man, but he was gay. And guess what? Nobody's cared for decades. But when they arrive after they set up the whole triangulation bullshit, they have to have a moment where they can reflect
I have the
on,
image pulled up.
Okay, yeah, so they can reflect on the fact that he's gay and he died of probably AIDS.
We did him on our. I did not even read that.
Yeah, so they had to do it so that we could be lectured about how horrible it was that gay people had to be closeted and for no reason. This moment has no relevant bearing on the story except to lecture you about how horrible it was that gay people had to be in the closet.
And I just want to point out, they never once show Rock Hudson or whatever in the theater.
The
theater is in the condition, like it was set up for the Mr. Ring-a-Ding cartoon. That was the main event. And the sign outside should have said Ring-a-Ding, but they wanted their weird Harbinger reference at the end that the Doctor knew happened but didn't see happen. I don't know if you guys caught that. He was inside the theater. He turned around, and outside the building, the letters fell off and became Harbinger, and he knew that happened.
The laughing was enough.
It was the laughing. But he is also right. How do you know that it's the Harbinger? Wait, how is it a fucking Harbinger if he's the God? The God is the...
We don't know. Rules that don't make sense or matter.
Oh, and this will be important later since we're talking about the spoon scene. I don't think RTD knows what moonlight is. Because Moonlight has a certain, composition similar to a certain other thing that we encounter at the end of the episode. They're the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he failed high school science.
Yeah. The moon glows because it reflects the light of the sun.
Yeah.
So it's technically sunlight.
Yeah, just a weaker form.
I'm gonna give this episode one credit.
What?
I actually liked how they tackled segregation. Because unlike normal situations,
I'm gonna slap you.
Like normal situations where they bonk you over the head over and over again and have people berating others for living this way at that time, he does have a decent way of saying, hey, it is what it is. We just have to flow with it now. I'm in the moment.
He did it in the gayest way possible. But I do agree how he just moved past it, kind of like Martha in the Shakespeare Code. I really like that one where he's like, am I going to be carted off as a slave? No, just act like you own the place and you'll be fine. And then they move on.
See, you know what my problem is, though? It doesn't belong in the episode.
It doesn't.
100%. It serves no purpose other to remind us segregation happened and it's bad. And
it's not as bad as the Rosa Parks episode.
No, okay, that's different level of bad.
Listen, we're judging garbage here, and I'm like, this is a whole lot better than, say, freaking out because a bunch of white people don't want to be saved by you because they're racist. It's
a rung lower. It's a couple rungs lower than that, but to me, it still bugged the hell out of me. Of why are we doing this? Well, it's not 100%. Like it serves no purpose in the story.
Well, even except the lecture point, you should have really addressed it, because when they addressed it back in the Shakespeare episode, they show black people walking amongst them, and it's like, oh, okay.
They just move past it. It doesn't have a place in this type of show, and I think they set it up just for that fake reality scene. All they did.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Just say, hey, you're trespassing. We had this place locked for a reason.
Thank you.
It's super easy, and it would be a lot shorter of a scene.
It could have just been breaking and entering. It serves the same purpose. You've broken in here. This is a cordoned off police investigation. You're not allowed inside. You have now intruded on a crime scene. We're going to arrest you. Instead, what y'all doing here? Oh no, them darkies are breaking the law. That's what it is. And they do it. Now, of course, it's all done. It's all done so that Shooty Who can be like, oh, this isn't real because you have the wrong police uniform on for the county. And suddenly, why is the mom so angry that we're doing this?
So racist.
Yeah. They just it was over the top, and it was 100%. All done for that scene. And also, it's also done for the final moment of the episode where they literally say, well, we better get out of here as a couple of colored people before the police arrive. They literally, it's like, we better leave now. It's all done so that it's done to remind us that it existed for no purpose except to remind us it existed, and shame on you white people.
Yep.
I can get. Okay,
I can agree. So, they didn't do. I do agree with Dermy. They didn't do as bad as they could have, but I also agree with Adam that it shouldn't have existed. It was still way too much.
Yeah, it's just pointless.
It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, you're right. It could have been worse. I'll give you that. But I was still bugged by it because all I want is clean storytelling. I do not believe in introducing aspects into a story that serve no purpose except a lecture. Things must have a reason for existing in a story, and if they don't, then why are they in there? If not to just lecture your audience. Yeah. So Lux, where do we start? We're all right. So after the whole I'm gonna get you home and I can't get you home bullshit, he says we're gonna go the long way around. We have to go to several different stops and triangle thing. And they try to soften her by telling us about her parents, which I found dumb.
I didn't care
because it was just
jarring.
It was just to be recycled in the fake fan moment, which I can't wait to get to.
You want to here's the reality of Lux. Yeah. It solely exists to give Belinda, belligerent, whatever the fuck her name is, the information on Gallifrey. That's all it is. That's the sole reason this episode exists, is to it's exposition dump.
And also to set up so that they can have the only way to get out of being stuck as cartoon is to cry and
get depth.
Yeah,
that was so bad. But yeah, I agree. The family stuff came out of nowhere with every previous companion, even RTD's 3 companions. he set up their families in their first episode. We got that information. We saw Rose with her mom and Mickey as the boyfriend right off the bat. We saw Martha and her family. It was dysfunctional, Martha's family, but we saw why she loved them. We got invested in these people. Yeah, we don't care
Amy
about a
family, and Amy has no family.
Yeah, and that was a big part of the story that led into the narrative. But we still got Rory at least. But yeah, with this one, Belligerent is just a bitch, and she's like, "Yeah, I have family. Who gives a shit?" Should have left her on the robot planet. It's the only way she'll ever be happy is ruling over everyone, being the moral police.
Probably not wrong. So they're gonna get sucked into the mystery of what's going on at the theater in a very.
Do we do it?
Oh God, it's like I'm Velma.
Oh, they talked about how they watched Scooby-Doo together before filming this episode. They were very proud of that fact.
Really? I didn't know that. I missed
Oh my God, I didn't even know that. And I thought they said Velma because of the fucking gay thing that people tried to
so did I.
with her.
Yeah. All right, so they go in there and they waste no time in encountering Mr. Rinky Dink Lux. And then the reveal. And here's the thing.
The fucking laugh.
I know.
Fucking laugh.
As soon as the laugh see, here's the thing. When he said, "Don't make me laugh," I thought that was RTD being lame and throwing out the way to defeat this guy in a very simple manner. I'm like, well, that's pretty lame. If we make him laugh, that might be the way to defeat him. But
I thought it was setting up the giggle as the Harbinger reveal, just using the giggle. Mm-hmm. I thought that's what they were going. He's trying to be clever. I've heard that giggle before. Mm-hmm. And that's how he knows it's a primordial.
But here's the thing, then. So so as soon as it's God, okay, frankly, this and that, and he starts to try and talk about rules and this and that. But then, how is it established suddenly that the projectionist can trap him in the character's motions?
He had to have figured that out by doing it, and that would piss Lux off, and Lux would not be giving him reels of his dead wife and keeping him around being nice if he knew this way to punish him or trap him momentarily. He'd never do, and it never comes up again.
No,
I think it's his way of manipulating him so he could feed him, because he plays the movies at night. So then he shows his wife so that he's convinced to stay around all the time.
He wouldn't let this guy just have the information to know, hey, you can trap me momentarily by doing this. Mm-hmm. You are correct. That is why he did the wife thing. I'm just talking about him having that power. He would have had to have done that before to know that would work.
You're right.
And
I'm wrong.
I love, not being able to figure that out on my own, or having the doctor piece together that he has to follow along with the projected film. We have to have Lux say, "Oh gosh darn it, I don't have a choice. I have to dance." He had to come out and say it. That happens a lot in this episode, is just telling stuff like, "I don't like sunlight. Don't give me sunlight," at the beginning of the episode.
He needs to go outside. He needs to go outside and touch grass.
I'm so ready to talk about when they defeat him at the end. But
we got to go along here.
We got a lot to go.
So after we get information dump, where it's like I'm letting all these people remain trapped in the cellophane because I get to dance with my dead wife,
who's fat.
I wanted to make that joke, but I didn't in my review. I kind of resisted. I was like, man, I'm just gonna let that one go. But it's pathetic. And then Lux there's something about Shooty Who where he just falls into every trap possible. He's just never clever. He either runs or gets trapped. Never actually sees something coming. And Lux because it's a god, he's scared to death of these gods, so he's helpless, and they get trapped in the reel. And then we go through the adventure of breaking out of the reel of the film. And first, it's the animation.
It's terrible. I don't think Ringading's animation is terrible. The actual character.
I don't care about that. I'm talking about
that's fine. Trapped. No, I know. I wanted to make the distinction though. I think that stuff is fine, but when they're cartoon characters, it looks awful. It's a stark difference. I can't believe that the same people made both sets of animation unless there was a very strong time difference. Like how much time they had to work on it.
Real quick on Dermy's side,
Jason Fox from 545 540 studio. Jesus Christ, I am so out of practice right now. Member for 9 months says, "Hail, hail, buddy! Good
There you
Super
go.
Sentai outfit as well."
All right, go Dermy.
I forgot what I was going to say. The way I viewed it was they're trying to go for the Scooby-Doo feel, because if you look at the old Hanna-Barbera kind of cartoons and stuff,
you're right.
that's kind of how they looked in
Yeah,
their first
100%.
thing, and then they started getting shittier as time went on.
But we mentioned
we're more rounded.
What gets me about that scene is that the way we get depth is about talking about our feelings.
And it doesn't add any depth. Like, this is all stuff that the audience knows. It's not providing any new information. It's not serving a purpose. It's not making us understand any better. It's not making them really understand each other that better. Yeah, the Doctor can assume she misses her family. And yeah, she doesn't know he's from Gallifrey, doesn't have family. But that's just not the place to do it. We need something new. He's been the last of the Time Lords for 2,000 years at this point, if not more.
Well, that whole line
on and off.
It's exposition dump for her. We know this already. You could have a better way of trying to go about this. You could have a better way of doing this. It's just exposition dump. That way she knows that he's the last of the Time Lords. We already know this 1,000 times over.
And so he can go, I'm afraid I can't help you. I can't get you home. Because we have to know that Shooty Who is not confident. Whereas
not competent either.
Oh, competent, yeah. Whereas in the past we had the heights of Dr. Victorious or Peter Capaldi, who's like, yeah, you know what? Fuck everybody. I'm the Doctor. I'm not Dr. Victorious, but I have so much self-confidence. There isn't anything you can do to shake me.
There's actually there's an analog from New Who that I think perfectly encapsulates the difference between this and Good Doctor Who. And I believe it might have been written by RTD. It was at least during his era. It's the second Martha episode, or it's one of the early Martha episodes, the Gridlock one. It's not a great episode where, they're back in New York, and there's the cars, the carbon monoxide trying to save Martha. And at the very end of it, after they save the day, the Doctor takes Martha aside, gets a chair, and he does exposize to her that he's the last of the Time Lords, but partially because of the incredible David Tennant performance in that scene and the visual nature of it, because he starts to describe Gallifrey. We've never had a really good description of Gallifrey up to that point in New Who. We'd seen Gallifrey in Classic Who, but in New Who, we hadn't visited it, we hadn't seen it, and he just starts to describe it in this beautiful way with crimson grass and just all these beautiful images and the music swelling. Martha's looking at him like he's a god, and I personally believe that's the first moment where she started to fall in love with him. Like, that was the moment they made their deep emotional connection, from her perspective at least. And it's such a stark difference. Yes, they're both exposizing that they're the last of the Time Lords, but one is so meaningful and far superior.
One's meaningful because of the performance and the way they deliver the lines, and the other one is, I'm just the last of the Time Lords, and I'm scared.
It was 2 seconds.
And you think about it, up to that point, we've had Tennant's Doctor had done so much already at that point. He had already epic episodes, epic moments, given Doctor speeches. And Shooty
we were invested.
Yeah, Shooty hasn't done anything. He's not done a damn thing.
He's just there.
He's there. So go ahead.
I still kind of like the only Doctor-ish moment he's had was when he says that the whole hey, I'm just here to hear, and then does his little hope speech to the chick. That's Doctor-ish. Ish is the operative thing there, where it's like you could see it trying, but it ain't there.
It ain't doing
because it ain't It's Shooty Gatwa. It ain't Doctor.
Yeah.
Shooty Gatwa saying it. He's just trying to mimic what
girl.
Before.
Girl.
This is the funnest part.
Let's go play dress up because we're gay. Anyway, then we go through the whole fake racism thing, and then we have to push out. And here, this is what I hate.
Think moving the reel will break you out.
Here's the scene that gets me the most. This is the one that got me the most. The fake Whovian scene.
I know me and you have different thoughts on this.
Slightly. I mean, when they arrive in there, first I thought, oh my God, we're doing fourth wall break. No, don't do this. Don't do this. And then when it's revealed, it's all not real. The whole
it's
thing,
still a fourth wall break.
It is
essentially.
Right, essentially, but it's not real world.
I mean, it's physically a fourth wall break.
You know what I mean? Yeah. They're not actually in our reality. It's still Lux's reality. Point is, doing that in itself was dumb. But then having these Doctor Who fans behave the way they do. I mean, Jed, yes, behind you, you've got your TARDIS box. You've got some intermixed with all your merch in there, all your stash of stuff. There's a Doctor Who things here and there. We all have little things here and there, but we don't sit down and watch the things we love. When I sit down and watch a Star Wars movie, or when I sit down and watch anime that I love, I don't go and find swag and wrap myself in it as I watch it. I don't put on a Meep t-shirt to watch something. I don't put on shit like that. I don't. I watch it. No real fan behaves like you only do this shit when you go to a con. That's the only time you wear your
if you're going out in public. I mean, I know people who dress up for big movie premieres and stuff like that. But like a lot of people dress up for Endgame.
That's different. That's different.
Very different. But in your home, that's weird.
And it's weird. So that's what RTD thinks we look like. He also thinks we're annoying, which is, you're really annoying.
They said that so many times.
And they think that that at least one of us is morbidly obese on a scooter. That one, I was like, wow. Just why? I was like, okay, fat. At first I say, okay, fat chick, don't care. But then when they zoomed out and she's sitting on a scooter.
I was speaking of scooters. I forgot to mention this in the last episode, but we need to call RTD out for his change to Davros being because we can't villainize people with disabilities.
They turned
showing Al's majorly disabled and cut off from the waist down and shit, and then her being made fun of for loving Doctor Who. It's a lot of negative disabled stereotypes. The only positive one by their definition, not by our definition, was the lady with the rockets in her wheelchair from the 60th.
I forgot about that.
Oh, and we haven't had it come up again once since the 60th, but Shooty's TARDIS is wheelchair accessible.
Yep.
That's right.
I remember that. Yep. All right. But so that whole thing, and of course they get Shooty gets the hint of how to win. They give him hints. Here's my take on it. I've said it to you guys in private. I've said it in my review. I see this because there's that whole scene of, what's your favorite thing? Blink. Well, you didn't like what I did last season and the list of things season? No, we like Blink. That's, to me, I hear RTD saying, how dare you like me for what I used to do? Why don't you like me
He
now?
didn't even do Blink. That was Stephen Moffat. He hates that his most famous episode, one of his most beloved episode, isn't his.
I didn't know Moffat wrote it. If I did, I'd forgotten that
part.
Moffat did the best episodes of RTD every season. Like the Doctor Dances, Are You My Mommy? The two-parter from season 1. That's Moffat. The Human Nature, Family of Blood, and Blink from season 2.
Dude,
I mean, not Human Nature, Family. It's not
point for me then.
It's not RTD, but it's not Moffat either.
You have more of a point now. I will say.
You just made a point. This is RTD bitching and moaning. Why don't you love me? I hate all of you. That's the whole thing to me. And somebody said to me in my comments in my review, if you think that that's not a love letter to fans, I don't know what to say.
To be fair, I don't think it's a love letter to fans either. I have a different perspective on that.
Go for it.
But after you brought that part up, because I didn't know RTD didn't write that episode off the top of my head. It makes more sense when Belinda says that's a stupid episode because you can't look because you're not allowed to blink. And she just says it's a stupid episode. Well, my perspective, it's still negative, but funny when I lay this out. This is RTD and Shooty having to admit they had no fans.
I can see that.
0 fans.
I can see that.
So when you start thinking about it, these are your super fans. And they don't like a single thing that you're putting out. They don't even like Boom, which was the episode that everybody praised last season. They don't even like that fucking thing.
Yeah.
Then you start watching as you start realizing these people don't even exist. And they have to just sit there and accept that they have 0 fans. So I'm sitting there breaking out laughing, watching this. Because it's like, you have to admit that your own fake fans that you wrote into this shit doesn't even like your garbage.
Your take is equally as valid as mine, I think. What you just said,
Yeah.
I think that's equally as valid. I mean, Jed, how do you see it? That whole
segment? It's mocking the fans, mocking everything. I mean, you don't have to look farther than hashtag RIP Doctor Who, which I think is hilarious coming from the woman wearing the Meep TV show, the shirt. That is what blows me away more than anything else.
I know.
Yeah, the disabled fat white lady with the Beep the Meep T-shirt says hashtag RIP Doctor Who, and it just comes out of nowhere. Like, it's not integrated well. She's criticizing the show a little bit, and then she starts sucking its dick right after that. Like, it's so out of the left field, and all that they have with Classic Who, all that they're willing to reference a Classic Who, and this has been the same for a long time, is the scarf. They just bring the scarf up all the fucking time.
And that wasn't even a good scarf either.
It was fucking terrible. But again, as someone who, I know Doctor Who fairly well. I'm never going to call myself an expert in anything, even Doctor Who. No. But I'm going to make a lot of references to when stuff like this was good. I think the best way that the show has ever integrated fans into the show in a meta way, not fourth wall breaking or anything like this, is actually in the 50th anniversary and then leading into the Capaldi episode. If you guys remember the Osgoods,
yes,
do you guys? She was absolutely a Doctor Who fan. I mean, she was wearing Doctor Who merch basically. She wears the question marks every time she's introduced. She's wearing a costume that resembles a different Doctor, and they're all doctors that.
Oh, sorry. Go.
But they're all doctors that interacted with UNIT a lot. So it made sense. She's a member of UNIT. These doctors worked with UNIT. She studied their files. She's hero worshipping.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's a little awkward. She's a little weird. She's a little nerdy, but she's a genius, and she's really good at what she does. She works with the Doctor, and she legitimately could have been a companion. I think she would actually made a really good companion. I kind of wish that we would have, Clara was good at first, but partway through that season, maybe get rid of Clara and transition to Osgood. I think that would have been the better decision to make. But yeah, she wore the scarf, made it work, and they even made a reference to it. And I think she's the perfect example of how to correctly integrate fans into the show in a meaningful way. Even in the later episodes, like season 9 isn't great, but I think the best part of season 9, besides, of course, Heaven Sent, is the Zygon 2-parter, which is very Osgood focused, especially Peter Capaldi's speech, "This is a scale model of war." I fucking love that speech. But that's how you do it. You do it with love and respect. And yeah, she's a little awkward, but you expect that from nerds. It wasn't mocking. You could feel like, yeah, she's different, but she's a badass, and she uses those differences for positivity. It's not, yeah, you're kind of annoying. I know, I'm really annoying.
Yeah, we are annoying. But the whole thing, it's just, no matter how, whether it's the way Dermot put it, the way Jed put it, it's RTD crying.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
It's RTD crying. It's disrespect.
And there's Tudigato crying.
And I missed it. You guys caught it.
In this scene.
I missed it. It's because they zoomed out. I wasn't looking.
You could see belligerent kind of.
And I was
trying to smile.
Was trying to cry, but it looked.
And you guys.
Why does she care?
You guys understand? I was eye rolling hard during this. And I was also already working on my review, because the minute she said "R.I.P. Doctor Who," I knew that was my opening clip for the review. I knew that was it, because that whole scene, I'm thinking in the real time I'm watching it, we live in his head rent free. He just admitted, every single real Doctor Who fan who puts the hashtag RIP Doctor Who or puts it in the title of a video, we are in his head, despite the fact numerous articles in the past 2 or 3 weeks saying, "I don't care what you think." You just admitted you are pissed that we hate everything you've done for the past 3 years.
You can't even have your own super fans love your show. Yeah. Your own fake super fans. You can't even write that they love at least an episode. You can't do it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Because he's aware of it. But I don't know if you guys have seen this. There's actually defense from the stands of justifying why this works in the show, and that there's precedent for it.
I might have some of that, but I stopped looking at my comments because I think I got hit by a stand wave. So I'm like,
well, this is them going back to classic Who, and it is a moment that people talk about a lot. I think it's a good moment, a way to do it. It's tongue in cheek. It's an Easter egg. It's a fun way to play with it. But I believe it's a Sylvester McCoy episode. The episode ends, the story's resolved, whatnot. And there's a pan that happens. You're in a living room. It pans to the TV in the living room, and it's playing BBC stuff. And it finishes its BBC segment, and then it goes to up next on the BBC, new episode of Doctor Cut to Black. And so it's kind of an Easter egg of like, oh yeah, Doctor Who, the show exists in Doctor Who, the universe. Isn't that kind of funny? They say that because that happened, it justifies this scene.
Yeah, you know what? You could say Stargate made documentaries for plausible deniability.
Exactly. And there was an episode in Power Rangers Dino Thunder where they watched Super Sentai.
That you see, that's just acknowledging your meta, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you can't use that for defensive bad writing.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. And the bad writing gets worse as now.
I have one thing left to talk about this scene.
Okay, all right.
As people know, apparently it's a controversial opinion of mine. As being a big Doctor Who fan, at least people believe as big of a Doctor Who fan I am, I should have a more nuanced opinion. But really? Matt Smith is my favorite Doctor, and his season 5 especially is my favorite season of Doctor Who. I think season 4 is the best season, but season 5 is absolutely my favorite season. The main theme from season 5, or one of the main themes from the Matt Smith era, played during the end, the emotional scene with the fans, ending in the climactic march. So if you guys remember the motif from the Matt Smith era, that wasn't Amy's, like choral one, but it was that other sad slow motif that built into this epic rager. That's the song that they played there. And that's already bad enough. Weaponizing my nostalgia, because I love that soundtrack. I think season 5 has one of the best
Murray
soundtracks.
Gold.
Murray Gold killing it back then. He's not doing so hot anymore. But weaponizing my nostalgia for that scene is already bad enough. And I think plays into the discussion that we have, making fun of things that aren't RTD and being mad that, we don't love new RTD stuff. The name of the track is called Sad Man in a Box. I feel like that was intentional. I don't know if that's just me.
I can see it. I can see it.
When you start adding in, when we move on, how we beat Lux.
Yeah. All right. So they're going to break out because he got the idea to hold the film in place.
Which should have been your first fucking idea.
I don't know about that. I wasn't even thinking how to break out. Honestly, I just this is dumb. I'm not even
my idea was not continue. Why would this work ever? You're just moving the film along.
I don't know.
That's the worst decision.
To get to the end, so
I thought they keep doing depth. I thought depth was the way they were going to keep going, and he might come out as gay. It's like, I haven't told anyone this yet, but I think I'm gay this life. Then pop out of the closet. Like they have the film lined up where you see a closet door in the background. I was hoping for that. That's what I was thinking.
I had no idea you were gay. It's not like you cried over a man that you basically had a one-night stand with.
Yeah. Anyway,
it didn't even have the one night stand with you. Just saw him for a few minutes.
They just got to make out a little bit, and then he gets to cry. Ugly cry too. That was like the ugliest of ugly cry last season. Bridgerton episode. So they break out, and he gets burned on his hand. And you're whatever you are, you have higher healing factor normal than anybody else. You're going to heal fine. But they had to do a moment like, I've been saving a little bit of my bi-regeneration power for just occasion like this. You're not even mortally wounded. It's a burn. It's a small burn on the palm of your hand that was going to heal just fine. You needed to waste regeneration power, but he had to do it so that Lux can see that he's got Time Lord regeneration still going on, so he can trap him in the cellophane reel and basically crucify him up against the wall and start draining his power.
Very apt episode to come out on Easter week.
Yeah,
but
I resisted making that reference in my review. I resisted. I'd like, no, don't do it. Just don't do it.
I actually despise any of the doctors being able to access regeneration energy outside of their actual regeneration
within the 24-hour period of a regeneration.
Well, Oh, yeah, without that. Yeah, like David Tennant regrowing his hand completely, totally fine. But there are two major examples of even in Good Doctor Who where it happens. There's the episode at the beginning of season 9, which is familiar, two-parter, where Peter Capaldi uses it to regenerate Davros a little bit, and Davros tries to keep sucking it out. I hate that. And Peter Capaldi just grabs the wires and is willingly doing it, and he just says, I might be a dwarf in my next life because I'm using so much energy. I despise that.
That's Moffat.
And there's also a Matt Smith episode, Matt Smith season 7, The Angels Take Manhattan, when Amy and Rory leave. He uses his energy to heal River's broken wrist.
I don't like that either because it doesn't really make sense. How do you store this, and why haven't you guys been storing it for a long ass time?
It would come in handy a lot.
It would come in handy a lot. It makes more sense when it was David Tennant losing his hand and then regrowing his hand,
or
because that was within the 24-hour period,
or when Matt Smith gets the fresh regeneration, in Trenzalore, and he's so overloaded he uses it to wipe out the Dalek fleet. I mean, that's cool.
I think that one's a little over the top, but it is believable. And the reset with him becoming young again, it is justified in the story.
It's believable. That's my point. I can go with it. It's not breaking my involvement and my enthusiasm when I'm watching. And just watching, Matt Smith do one last bit of Matt Smith going, I'm into it. I'm digging it.
I love the line, "Love from Gallifrey, boys."
Yeah, I'm
only Matt Smith could have pulled that off.
And that's my point. We're into it. We accept it. This I've been saving, and just so he goes say my bi-regeneration. What? Where you were born from the tip of another man's dick? Jesus Christ.
What's David Tennant doing now?
I don't know. He got blowed up on Earth apparently. He was if Earth ain't there no more, he got blowed up and he didn't do anything to stop it.
This is what people think happened with Cap and Endgame to a whole new level. This is way worse. Cap, I think you could justify it with Cap without the whole alternate timeline thing. I think you could justify him retiring after a lot of extensive work. They didn't do that, but they could have. The Doctor, you can't justify him retiring.
Yeah,
you can't do it.
Yeah.
You can maybe do him settling down, but he's still going to help around him.
He wouldn't let the Earth be destroyed.
He wouldn't. He would go insane if that was on the table.
Yeah. So put that aside. So he's strung up, getting his energy sucked out, and then Lux goes through this horrific transformation. That ended up being my thumbnail because I missed the crying.
That was my horrifying.
Thumbnail.
It was a monster.
But I actually like Alan Cummings. I just hate him more and more as the years progress because his Jodie Whittaker episode was fucking terrible. I don't know if you saw that one, Adam.
No.
He was in a Jodie Whittaker episode. He was in the season, Jodie's first season. He played King James, as in like the King James of England in the 1600s, where he's hunting witches and talking about how women are awful.
I did see that episode. But I don't remember what happened.
Yeah, same guy who voiced Ring-a-Ding and played Nightcrawler in X2. And
Alan Cummings. You're right, Alan Cummings. He was gay, by the way. He's gay.
Flute from the Spy Kids. Oh, yeah. All the primordial gods we've seen, I think, at this point are queer.
I don't know about Anubis. I mean...
Well, I think that one... It's still queer.
Yeah.
The ones played by actors that we see.
I know. But so... What we got, though, is he gets strung up, and then he tells her, remember, I'm a Time Lord, so that means I know what time it is.
So bad. I had no idea what he was fucking talking about.
I did. At that point, I realized it's daylight. So then, of course, now we know all the way to do it is lighting film on fire. Now, I asked this question in my review because I don't have an answer. I'm not a chemist. I don't know chemistry. If you pile up all those cellophane reels and light on fire, is that going to cause an explosion?
No, not a bomb. Like, it'll catch fire. Like, the way that they showed the flames happening when they stopped the reel,
that's normal.
That's accurate. That's how it would happen. So, yeah, you could start a little fire, and after an hour, it could spread outside that room. It's not going off like a fucking bomb that's going to blow through a wall.
There was no accelerant shown. It's nothing. It was, and also the projection, it says, after he receives the matches from his dead wife, let's not forget that.
How did she come to life again? How did she become real?
He didn't play the reel.
I don't know.
He didn't play the reel. Obviously, Lux didn't make her physical again. How the fuck did that happen?
I don't know.
I hoped he was hallucinating it first just to give himself motivation to do the right thing or something. But yeah, that's when I knew, oh, this is real. What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. So...
And they tried to justify that with the Lux creations, the Doctor Who fans having sentience and will of their own, which is horrifying to think of. So that's how they're justifying the wife making the decision.
Let me ask you this, though.
That doesn't work.
Let me ask you this, though.
Because they were stuck in a real world that was happening.
We're in the real world. We're in the real world now. Point is, though, so he says, no, let me do it, because he doesn't want belligerent to sacrifice herself for that. So, but when he lights it all on fire... I know, but when he lights it all on fire, he has plenty of time.
He just watches it for a minute.
He just wants to die.
Well, because his wife said, "Come find me."
I know, but and then I realized something else because of that where that explosion was, and I just realized this when we're talking about it. I wish I'd realized it during my review. Technically, the people trapped in the film should have been destroyed by the explosion.
100%.
How did they survive to be released once Lux is the universe? I mean, so the whole thing explodes. So once again, Shooty didn't do anything except get bondage play, which I'm sure he's used to.
He really enjoyed that. He got sucked off and wrapped up.
You're not wrong.
It's exactly what happened.
And then Lux just absorbs his energy, and then suddenly and here's what that makes sense. He was becoming 3-dimensional from absorbing the Time Lord energy. But then as soon as the sunlight comes in, he stops being 3-dimensional, goes back to 2-dimensional, and has some sort of joygasm as he becomes the universe.
All right. Are we ready to talk about that?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
So the analog that the stands have used to justify this scene is actually another season 2 episode with David Tennant where they encounter a werewolf in Victorian England, and there's virtually the same line. You're 60% water but can still drown. It actually says that. In this one, it says 70%. I don't know where 10% of water came from. But, and the werewolf, likes moonlight. They amplify the moonlight and it makes it vulnerable and kills it. That's what they use to justify this. There's a difference between an alien who likes moonlight and a primordial deity of light getting dick blasted by a sun. Do we know how big the universe is? Do we know what a primordial deity is? Do we know how little a star is by comparison to our own galaxy, let alone the universe?
Yeah.
A primordial deity, to be affected to this level, you'd need massive amounts of stars. And no, it's not that he eventually gets to the galaxy that doesn't. He's already blitzed out of his fucking mind the moment the sunbeam comes into the room. One little baby star, because our star is kind of small, not the smallest, but it's on the smaller end. One baby fucking star is enough to make the primordial deity of light overdose.
Gotta chase that dragon somehow.
Yeah.
That bullshit. That bullshit.
Yes. Nothing made sense there.
I think a primordial deity should be able to take in the light of the galaxy. That's just what I'm saying. Well, so just like, Shooty accidentally killing a bunch of people in a hospital and laughing, just like Shooty watching 20 people die and laughing, and then watching his friend die and cry, and then watching a man who was starting to have sympathy for it get sucked up and laughing, he doesn't care. He might have just created an all-powerful being, giving him exactly what he needs to destroy the universe. Like, logistically speaking, or like logically speaking, Lux should be more powerful. He should be able to handle this. Absolutely should be able to handle this. Why should he be afraid of the sun? And again, moonlight is sunlight.
Well, he can magically maintain all of the Time Lord powers, but when given basically the lights of the universe, he disappears.
He can't.
He just fades into everything.
Can't handle
everything and nothing.
Yeah.
No, the Doctor just created the most powerful being in the universe, which, to be fair, he should have already been the most powerful being in the universe, because if he came from the moon, like we saw the blue beam that is himself originate from the moonlight before it hit the spoon or the poster and the film. We saw that blue light beforehand. So he came from the moon. The moon can see the sun. That's why it glows. So he was exposed to sunlight before he was ring-a-ding. That didn't overdose him. It's bullshit. It makes no sense. It should not have actually helped. The Doctor just created the most powerful creature who should already have been the most powerful creature.
Are we essentially establishing that Lux came from a sun sperm?
We did.
I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I sort of had those same thoughts of why is he orgasming out by just getting light? Shouldn't he just be getting stronger and stronger?
Well, like the whole
it's just an
concept
overdose.
around it was like he needs to be in darkness so he can easily consume light, I guess, and he doesn't go outside because there's too much light all at once. Or maybe he doesn't go outside because he doesn't like to touch grass. That's all I could figure.
But again,
somehow
he's a
you need to go
god.
outside.
If he was just some alien like the werewolf who is, likes moonlight or something like that, completely works. Totally fine. But they're setting up these gods as being beyond time and space, not applying to our rules, and being the most powerful things since your mama fucked your dad.
But you just said it. You just said it. Rules. There are no rules for this.
Not even their own rules. Stick with your own rules if nothing else.
Their own rules don't even make sense. Like even their own ways to bring these beings in, even what they do to cause it, it's always up in the air. And it's like, well, you have to play by these rules, and they don't even play by those fucking rules that they established.
No. So we're left sitting here thinking none of this made sense. And in the end, let me ask you this: what was Lux's plan? To become 3-dimensional and roam around
and rule?
He wanted to watch the nuclear bombs.
Sure.
Get power from the nuclear bombs. Like he was saying, I'll absorb the light of the sun in the palm of my hand or some shit like that.
You got it. I guess you OD.
And if the doctor had let him steal the regeneration power and made him in a body, if he had gone outside, would the same thing have happened?
I don't know.
Would he still have OD'd? I think he still would have OD'd.
Because he said the sunlight is stronger than my Time Lord regeneration powers. And it's just
his whole plan was to steal the Time Lord regeneration powers to go outside.
Yeah, so it would have happened anyway. RTD is an idiot.
Yes.
He's
totally right about gay shit.
What was the purpose of this episode?
I said it. It was solely to give you the freaking exposition dump of the goddamn Gallifrey. That's all
to remind us of the primordials, because I think the primordials are gonna be more in the season.
There's more. There's gonna be more.
I think so.
I am starting to lean on the fact that what's her fucking face that comes in at the goddamn end of the episode is goddamn god of storytelling, god of time, some sort of primordial being herself.
Are we ready to talk about Mrs. Flood? Because I have a couple things.
Go for it.
All right. I just want to point this out because it's laughably bad. This is actually a theory I've seen a lot of stands posting. If you want to pull this up, that she's Sunshine. It's just an aside. I think it's hilarious.
That is retarded. These people have no concept.
These don't look anything alike.
Not to mention, listen, I'm all for good theories if you're trying to figure out where something is going, but this is some of the lamest attempts at trying to figure out what's being hinted at. No.
I mean, she said the story ends on May the 24th.
It's a limited run series. And I love that. I laughed at that because, your show's canceled. You're done.
I think the immediate thing I thought then was that RTD is going to do the one last thing he can to destroy the show. I think he's building to his magnum opus. He's got one bullet left in the chamber. He's going to end the show. I think he's writing in an ending. He's not letting the show get canceled. He's not letting himself, go into failure. He's going to destroy the show and end it. The 60-year show, I think it's coming to an end on May 24th. She says it. The show is ending May 24th. She physically says it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to happen. There's
6.
6. Yeah, I think there's 6. I think there's 8 episodes these seasons.
So, I guess there
might be 10.
Is not going to work.
No, it's May 24th
because there's May 31st would be the season finale.
No, I looked at it. May 24th
6 episodes or 7?
6.
So 1, 2, 3.
May 24th is a Saturday. I looked it up after the first episode.
Oh yeah, it would be the 6th. Yeah. Because I thought it was 7, so it's
now,
on the 31st.
I mentioned this during my review, and I mentioned this. We saw the galaxy in this, right? We saw the universe, right?
Yeah, it's not fluxed.
Yeah. They still haven't explained how it got unfluxed.
Well, no, this was back in the past, so the flux
doesn't matter. We saw the galaxy when they rocketed off from Earth on May 24th. We saw space.
Oh, that's true. That's true. You're right.
May 24th might be the penultimate episode, so the two-parter.
You know what
that
I
might
mean,
be
though?
where your no. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
Jeremy. I just double-checked. Your math is right that there's some weird math going on, so I think that might be it. But yeah, the flux should be present. They specifically mentioned it when David Tennant was here that half the universe is gone instead of all the universe except for the Earth.
We saw space on the premiere episode, so that's present day 2025.
We saw space last season.
Yeah, I know.
They don't give a shit. We're dealing
yeah.
with people that are bringing in gods that don't even play by their own fucking rules. Nothing makes sense anymore. And I said it, and I'll say it again. Last episode was just bringing in Belinda Chargruff. This one's just Al Gallifrey. It exists. Well, it existed.
Yep. So then, like I said, then everybody gets freed when they should be destroyed. And then let's get the hell out of here before the cops come because we're still in segregated territory. We got to run. And then Mrs. Flood. Have we missed anything?
Gay?
Gay.
Super gay. Yeah.
It's going to get gayer. Now, because I don't watch previews, I have no idea what's coming next week.
I don't either.
I'll just say they think they're going to do psychological horror.
Oh.
When is Eurovision?
I think that's in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think that's still a few weeks away.
Okay, because I know that the Eurovision episode is apparently coming out on Eurovision.
Yeah, it's coming out the same night. It's coming out after a major football game over there, and then it's coming out in between. If the game goes into overtime, it will cross over Doctor Who's.
I hope it's soccer game. Of course, it's going to overtime. That's what happens.
They've already said that they might just put it on the iPlayer and say fuck it.
Oh man, I love or it's gonna, like, Disney Plus. It's gonna be on Disney Plus anyway. So.
But guys, you don't understand it. Graham Norton's gonna be in this episode. That's gonna bring all the missing UK audience.
Give two shits about Graham Norton. All right,
what missing UK audience? Nobody's watching this goddamn garbage.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's get to that then. Let's end on that. Last week, 2 million overnight. Worst episode ever. You can bring it up. Sure, bring it up. Worst episode ever. And Jed, what did I say to you on drive-in after drive-in? I said it could possibly. I said I think it's going to go below 1 million. And you said, "Well, I don't know. It's a long way to go." And then we got this week's overnights, and you were the one who sent it to me first. 1.58. They lost nearly 500,000 people.
That's so bad.
You know, I was at least thinking maybe the numbers will go up a little bit. Maybe they will go down a little bit. Was not expecting this shit.
Yeah, premieres and finales are usually the highest watched episode. In the higher tier, there's going to be an episode in the middle there that'll spike or something like that. But a drop to this degree is awful. I was expecting like 175 at the worst. That's what I was thinking at the absolute worst. This is atrociously bad. And after how bad this episode was for that 1.58, I'm thinking we're dropping to 1.3. That's my prediction. Plus or minus half five or however many 50,000 or something like that. Plus or minus a little bit, but yeah, I'm thinking 1.3.
I'm going 1.2 next week. I think people are just checked out now, and they just bleeding. Even their modern audience, Dermy, where's their modern audience that tell us in our comments on X that tell us all the time that we're just bigots and homophobes?
We're just the minority.
You want to know? Yeah. Apathy has fully set in to the point that the stands that you magically got, I haven't gotten any yet. That they're everywhere and shit like that, and the numbers aren't coming up with this. There's a reason Disney is not committal for a third season. There's a reason the BBC even said we might not even do another season. There's a reason these conversations have been going on for a long ass time now. We're not pulling this shit out of our fucking ass. The numbers are coming up here and saying this. I'm more shocked that it is at 1.58. I thought at least 1.8. That's where I was like, it's going to go down. I thought maybe out of luck, it will go up to 2.1. I also want to point out, we still haven't had a single consolidated number.
No.
Well, yeah. Well, what day did they come out last year? Season 1. That was
Friday.
Well, Friday. Was it Friday night?
Yeah,
So
Friday,
yeah,
Friday for us, Saturday for them.
last season, when it was coming out on Friday, we expected the consolidated numbers on Wednesday of the next week. So I'm expecting the consolidated numbers on Thursdays or Fridays for this season.
But we still haven't gotten
it is normal.
For one
Wednesday, this week's Wednesday is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Is when we would have gone. So it's usually a week and a half before we get consolidated numbers. For some reason, they can report overnight numbers the moment overnight is done, but consolidateds have always taken a little time with Doctor Who.
They're scared. They're scared.
They're definitely scared. But I'm not expecting the consolidated till Thursday or Friday of this week.
We'll find out. But I felt it in my bones. I'm like, this thing's gonna drop like a rock. And here we are, almost 500,000 from one week to the next. It's only going to get worse. I'm going to say this. I think by the time we get to the mid-season 4 or 5, it's under 1 million. By the time we get there,
I don't think it'll be under 1 million by then, but I'm by the end of it.
It's going to get under 1 million at some point. I do agree in this season. There's 8 episodes, right? And how many episodes did Disney get? 25 or 20?
I don't know. You would know better than I.
About 25, I think.
Was it 25? Because we have season 1 and the 60th anniversaries. We have season 2, the 2 Christmas specials, and the War Between the Land and the Sea. I don't know if they have contracted a Christmas special for this year. They haven't talked about one yet.
Yeah,
but I don't think they have. I don't think they have time for a Christmas special in the deal. Disney Plus not going to renew it for anything.
No,
so I don't think we're going.
No Christmas special.
Okay, perfect. So I'm not thinking that there's going to be a longer, like the 50th anniversary was an hour and a half long. That was a movie event. People went to theaters for it in the UK. I'm not thinking they're even going to attempt something like that for the big finale of Doctor Who. They're just going to have
last year.
Well,
they tried
it last year, and Mr. Retardus came out and said that he hated it. Your own stands hate your slop, and they'll defend anything.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm finally blocked by that dude too.
Oh, he blocked you finally?
Oh, impressive.
I was gonna ask you just now. Yeah, so he blocked you. All right.
It was a while back before this all came out, but I had enough of that fucker.
This is the lowest of the low. It's only going to sink lower. And you know what? I said this, I think, on my first review last year when we talked about this. We said we know we lost this. We're just not going to let them get their victory lap. We get to take the victory lap now. This mythical modern audience who's all gay and all this kind of shit. We said, fine, you can have it. Where are they? This is where they are. 2 million, 1.5 million and dropping.
Apathy has fully set in on Doctor Who. People don't want to watch. People don't want to watch it to enjoy it. People don't want to watch it to roast it. People just don't give a shit anymore. Yeah. And I completely forgot episode 1 was coming out last week or whatever. I don't give a shit.
In all fairness, you were focused on Vegas. In all fairness,
I was focused on Vegas, but
yeah,
like I had this all in my head, like, hey, it's gonna come. Then you had to remind me it's coming this week, and it's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I completely forgot.
Yeah.
Apathy's it's here.
Well,
Welcome
we're here. We're here for it because I don't mind documenting this end.
No,
I don't mind.
Especially with it being the end. If we had, confirmed many more seasons to go, I couldn't do it. But we're reasonably certain that it's ending. One way or another, this is the last season.
And I'm enjoying pointing and laughing. I'm enjoying pointing and laughing. I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time doing this. I am.
Yeah.
I think it's so absurd it's bad. It's fun.
I think next week might be another boom situation where there's almost a good idea in there, just poor execution, and some people will legitimately say it's a good episode. Even people that, we respect. Kind of like with Boom. I think that's what we're seeing. Because I did watch the trailer for the next episode, The Well, and it's dark. Not just in, it looks dark. It does look dark. But the tone.
When is the episode written by that LGBTQ garbage?
I'm pretty sure she's the Eurovision one. He's
Jesus fucking Christ! Of course it is.
Here's my problem. It is. I'm forgetting every Saturday that it's Saturday and I have to watch one of these things and review it before driving. That this week it was like I woke up and went, oh shit, I gotta review this shit. I gotta do this. I got like a couple hours to get this done.
You actually watched it, relatively live. What time does it come out Eastern?
I don't know. It's out when I go to bed on Friday night.
Really?
It's out.
So
I think
it doesn't.
Disney Plus is getting it early. I think.
Okay,
yeah.
that would
I haven't had a chance to
make more sense because if it releases Saturday morning in the UK, that would be really bad.
Yeah, when I've been waking up every morning for the past couple of weeks, it's there. And and at one time, I think for the episode 1, I checked before I went to bed, and it was there. So it's out like early Friday night or late Friday night, early Saturday morning. It's available. So,
and that's kind of what they did last season. Is it was coming out Saturday in the UK, but Disney Plus got it first because iPlayer got it first.
So, well, we're gonna wrap it up because I have to start on Mondays.
We have someone in the chat saying Saturday at 8 a.m. in the UK.
Really? I'm bringing it up. Oh, holy shit! Thank you, Joe, for letting us know that.
UK might be different. I do have to make that disclaimer. UK television times might work different than American, like prime time and whatnot. But I'm assuming 8 a.m. is awful time slot.
Dude, when Capaldi's season started the first time, that was prime time. That night they had that shit. That was like they had that at prime time on the weekend. They weren't putting that shit out on the morning. I remember
they put that shit out on Saturday night. And then it would get numbers as time went on. It was a bad spot primarily because people went out on Saturday nights, but people would come back and watch it.
Yeah.
Nobody's watching this shit. If it's coming out at 8 a.m., that would actually make more sense, especially because 8 a.m. UK would be right around about midnight, 1 o'clock our time, and we usually get it a little bit first. So they're asleep when we get it, and then they get it in the morning.
Well,
which is probably the reason these numbers are so atrocious.
Yeah, well,
because nobody's watching it. Nobody gives a shit.
No, that'll really hurt your overnights.
Yeah. All right. So we are going to wrap it up. We went a little longer than we normally will because we had to get Robot Revolution in. But let's say our farewells, and I got to jump to the other stream. All right. So, Dermy, you got anything you want to pimp this week?
Primarily just videos and Ballbusters later this week with Jed coming on. That's right. He'll join us again. It's been a long ass time.
Post Vegas. Great time. A great time for me to come back.
Yeah. All right.
Saturday charity. Next week we're gonna do the Outlast.
Listen, I'm just gonna point and laugh at all that shit. I'm just gonna laugh because listen,
Gal gets 2 tag-ins in case something comes up, so you might be on that stream.
Oh, fine.
Like if she has to walk away for a little while, she has 2 people that have set.
So I have to be in there to basically.
You might have to. It's all up to her on who she tags.
Well, it's gonna be me. Who else? It's gonna be me.
And you, because she's not gonna let me have shock.
Yeah. You don't get your comfort pillow. You don't get that.
Yeah.
You don't get.
You guys doing Among Us anytime soon?
May 17th.
Yes, May 17th.
That far?
Well,
I thought you guys did it once a month.
We do, but
because of April was all messed up because of Vegas, we didn't do it this month. So no
Vegas and Scotland.
Yeah. So I put out the dates and that was what was chosen. So May 17th. Anyway, all right, Jed. We got drive-in and anything else?
Just driving. Do you want to talk about that? Do you want me to?
Yeah. No, you can do it. It's your choice. You go.
All right, so this week for Saturday Night Drive-In at 8 p.m. Eastern, we are going to be talking about a Scottish movie. Of course, I just came back from Scotland, felt like talking about a Scottish movie, and of course, I chose the least historically accurate Scottish movie to ever exist. We are going to be talking the Mel Gibson Rager Braveheart.
Freedom!
I watched Tim say Scotland movie. I saw you raise your arms in the air. It's like, oh, I know what this is.
It's such I love this movie though. It's not great, but I love it.
It's entertaining.
It's very entertaining.
Entertaining. All right, so we got Braveheart on drive-in. Rest of the week, we don't know what's going to happen in a round, but we will be back for reviewing more of this garbage next Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern. You can catch my reviews. You can catch Dermy reviewing it. Jed saves it all for this, so he'll just have to bottle it up and let the rage all out at once. Either way, so thank you, everybody, across the chats for joining us tonight. If you are watching on my channel, you will be shifted. I want to say shoved, but that didn't come out right.
Shifted works as well.
You're going to be shoved over to Mellow Mondays as soon as we end, where is anybody there yet? Yeah. Okay. Somebody's waiting there. So
give me 1 second. I could do the same, actually.
All right. You can come over. All right. Come over.
Well, no, I can redirect everybody.
Oh, redirect. Oh, yeah. Go ahead and redirect. So, so we got Mellow Mondays where I have no idea what we're going to do. As usual, I have no plan. We will talk. We will chat and have a good time. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. We hope you had a good time. The best way to show us you had a good time is to hit that like button, subscribe to the channels, leave comments, and come back next time. So everybody have a good evening. We'll check you guys later. Until then, take it easy.
There it is. There it is. There it is.
Oh, good. Right. Jeremy, wave goodbye. Wave goodbye.
Bye.